Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. So we are going to start our day. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. And thank you all for joining us today at this important event. My name is Shamsa Yusuf and I have the honor of being your moderator for today's Accreditation Award Ceremony 2024. On behalf of National Disaster Risk Management Fund, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to celebrate the achievements of our organization and our accredited partners. This event is a significant milestone for us as we continue to build resilience for a safer and more sustainable future. Let us start our day with the recitation of Holy Quran. Jazakallah. Now, I would like to invite everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, my sincere apologies as we are waiting for Mr. Ehsan Iqbal. So I'll just resume here and we will just wait for 5 minutes. He will be reaching. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Mr. Ehsan Iqbal, the Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives. Please, sir, thank you so much for your presence today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to share a special video documentary that captures NDRMF journey, resilience, and unwavering commitment to building a safer and more sustainable future. Please take a moment to watch the documentary. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Mr. Bilal Anwar, the CEO of NDRMF, to provide us with the strategic orientation of the organization and highlight the value addition of the accreditation process.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and very warm welcome to all our extended family members, those who have been working with us for the last few years and those who are new and part of the process, so welcome all of you. A very special welcome to Honorable Minister Ahsan Iqbal Saab, Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives. Sir, thank you very much for taking the time and giving us a support for this. You all know about NDRMF, so I will not be spending a lot of time on it, but I'll just take a couple of minutes, or a few minutes actually, just to highlight some of the new initiatives, some of the work which we have just initiated in the last few months or a couple of years, and how this is going to be contributing and actually helping and supporting us in moving towards a direction which we have envisaged ourselves. And I must say that the direction which you have envisaged is not going to be achieved without the contribution, without the support which we are receiving from all our FIPs. So with the 6 years of history and having invested around more than $350 million all across Pakistan in a range of interventions and the project activities ranging from very typical and classical flood protection measures, early warning system, watershed management, afforestation, reforestation, strengthening of rescue services in some of the vulnerable regions of Pakistan, and similarly, this is our history. This is the list of our achievements. So what we have done is we have capitalized and we have built our partners and collaborators and our FIPs, fund implementing partners like yourself. And now we are actually embarking ourselves into the new innovative areas and the projects which are much needed for the gravity of the challenges which Pakistan is facing. So you must have all seen the new business strategy of NDRMF. This is a 10 years business strategy from 2023 to 2033, and the rationale and the purpose behind this business strategy is because the mandate of NDRMF is resilience building, and any meaningful resilience cannot be built, cannot be achieved in a short span of time. With the moving targets of climate change, with the increasing frequency and gravity of the disasters, climate-induced disasters, which Pakistan is facing. So this business strategy has been actually designed in an extensive consultative process and has been designed in order to place us and position us as one of those premier agencies within the federal government under the Ministry of Planning, Development, and Special Initiatives to take the agenda forward. And we have embarked ourselves into the new initiative. So we will be working on the flood protection. We will be actually extending our further support into the afforestation, reforestation, climate adaptation, strengthening of rescue services, a number of other areas. But at the same time, we are actually going to be working on a number of innovative projects as well. And those projects especially related to the challenges which Pakistan is facing right now, or is going to be facing actually in the coming years and the coming decades. So that's the logic and that's the rationale behind the design of that business strategy. Now, the one particular area on which we have initiated and positioned ourselves, that is related to, and this is very much part of our mandate, that is related to the disaster risk financing. The third strategic objective of the NDRMF is assisting the government of Pakistan toward the fiscal resilience. And after a number of consultation, hard thinking, and learning from the lessons from around the world, we have actually thought that in order to cope and in order to match up the scale of the financing which is needed, some fundamental transformations needed to be done. And one of that fundamental transformation is that the government, which so far has been actually carrying the bulk of the burden, financial burden for all kind of disasters, then gradually need to be shifted to the other partners as well. And the private sector coming out very, very strongly and willing to take up some of the burden. We have actually actively engaged ourselves with them, and now with the disaster risk financing strategy in place, we are very actively working towards creating the financial instruments which are going to be contributing in terms of coming up with the new financial instruments which are going to be helping the government for risk transfer and a number of other instruments as well. At the same time, one particular gap, kind of intellectual gap and the capacity gap was related to the risk modeling work. For that, we have established the natural catastrophic model, and the model is fully functional now, and it has the capacity and to actually undertake the risk assessment for a number of actually 9 perils, and those are the key and the prominent perils and the disasters which Pakistan is facing. This actually put us in a position to undertake the risk modeling for 200 to 300 years in advance, and then come up with the risk assessment reports, which actually going to be helping not only the fund implementing partners and DRMF for its own investment, but at the same time the PSTP financing and investment, which are actually happening in provinces as well as in the federal government as well. We are extending the integration of that model with a number of other databases and the systems in the country, and when it is done, this is going to be expanding the further capacity of the system. So for this is just a few initiatives. There are a number of other initiatives on which we are working. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the newly accredited members and the institutions who are now part of the family. My apologies for passing through this grueling process of evaluation and assessments, and I congratulate you that you have been able to demonstrate your capabilities, your capacities, your institutional strengths, and that basically allow us to become part of our family. You are our extended arms and feet and ears and eyes on the ground, because we do not, of course, have the capacity to implement the projects, and we're so heavily dependent on you to implement for implementation. So congratulations, and we had an overwhelming response. So we had, thank you very much. We had an overwhelming response. I mean, we received around 53 applications. I think altogether 32 of you have passed through, 22 are fully accredited, and the others still have to undertake a few little refinements here and there. So welcome to the family, and thank you very much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bilal, for your insights and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Ahsan Iqbal, the Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives. Mr. Ahsan Iqbal is a prominent, renowned politician and economist known for his vision of economic growth and sustainable development. He has been instrumental in advancing major infrastructure projects, policy reforms, and development strategies that support Pakistan's socio-economic progress. Under the leadership, initiatives like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor have been vital in attracting foreign investment and fostering economic partnerships. With years of experience in public service, Mr. Ahsan Iqbal is dedicated to our long-term goals for national resilience and transformation across various sectors. Now, I would like to invite him on stage to please share his insights on the role of public and non-public diaspora in making Pakistan resilient.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Bilal, Chief Executive, ND, RMF, distinguished partners of National Disaster Risk Management Fund, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for a very what shall I say, generous introduction. This reminds me of a story. There was a guy like myself who was not very good at public speaking, and each time he accepted an invitation, he got very upset with the thought that he would have to make the speech, and till that time, till that moment he was done with that event, his own life and the life of people around him was quite miserable because he felt very, nervous. So one day one of his staff members asked him, "Sir, we know that public speaking is not your piece of cake. And it puts you in great pain, and you not only endure that pain, but people around you also endure that pain. And I just wonder, what is it that keeps you going? You keep accepting all these invitations." So he said, "John, it is the pleasure of listening to the introductions." So thank you very much for a very generous introduction. First of all, I would compliment NDRMF for its work and would congratulate all the accredited partners who have passed through a very rigorous process of qualification. And we look forward that, this partnership will help Pakistan prepare for meeting the challenge of climate disasters in future proactively. So having spoken this much in English, now let me switch to Urdu, because through these cameras, I think we can take our message to a much bigger and wider audience outside this hall. خواتین و حضرات، جیسے کہ آپ جانتے ہیں کہ پاکستان اس وقت دنیا میں ان 10 ممالک میں شامل ہے جو کلائمیٹ چینج کے سب سے زیادہ متاثر ممالک ہیں، اور یہ ہماری حیثیت ہمارے اپنے کردار کی وجہ سے نہیں. پاکستان کا اپنا گلوبل ایمیشنز میں حصہ 1% سے بھی کم ہے، لیکن ہم 7ویں سب سے زیادہ متاثر ملک ہیں. اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ کلائمیٹ چینج کے محاذ پر ہم متاثرین میں شامل ہیں. ہم کلائمیٹ چینج کو امپیکٹ کرنے والے ممالک میں نہیں، بلکہ اس سے متاثر ہونے والے ملک میں ہیں. لیکن اس تباہی کے نتیجے میں جو افتاد ہم پر پڑی ہے، اس وقت دنیا میں اگرچہ زبانی اس کے لیے بہت حمایت ہے، لیکن عملی طور پر اس درجے کی حمایت نہیں کہ جس کی ضرورت ہے. 2 سال قبل پاکستان نے بدترین کلائمیٹ ڈیزاسٹر کا سامنا کیا، جس کا تخمینہ $30 ارب کے نقصان کی صورت میں لگا. لیکن ہم نے یہ دیکھا کہ جو امداد پاکستان کو ملی، اس میں بمشکل 5-7% بائیلیٹرل ایڈ تھی یا گرانٹ تھی. باقی سب پاکستان کو امداد قرضوں کی صورت میں دی گئی، اور اس میں بھی یہ کیا گیا کہ ہم سے کہا گیا کہ ہم آپ کے جو منظور شدہ قرضے ہیں، جو 1 سال بعد آپ کو جاری ہونے ہیں، ان کو ذرا آگے کر دیتے ہیں، یا کوئی تعلیم اور صحت کے لیے آپ کا قرضہ منظور ہوا ہے تو اس کو ہم فلڈ کے نام پہ کر دیں گے. ری پرپزنگ کر دی گئی. بالآخر وہ سارا پیسہ جو ہمیں امداد کی صورت میں ملا، وہ پاکستان نے پے بیک بھی کرنا ہے. اسی طرح جو پچھلی COP کے اندر فیصلہ ہوا کہ جن ممالک کا کلائمیٹ چینج سے نقصان ہوتا ہے، ان کے لیے $70 ارب سے ایک لاس کا فنڈ بنایا جائے گا، اس میں بھی ابھی تک $70 ملین سے زیادہ کی کمٹمنٹ نہیں آئی ہے. سو پاکستان کے سامنے، یا پاکستان جیسے ممالک کے سامنے، 2 ہی راستے ہیں کہ یا ہم اس امید کے سہارے جو کہ دنیا میں زیادہ کارگر نظر نہیں آ رہی، انتظار میں بیٹھے رہیں، یا پھر ہم اپنے وسائل سے اپنے ملک کو بچانے کے لیے، اپنی معیشت کو بچانے کے لیے زیادہ سے زیادہ پرو ایکٹیولی کام کریں۔ حکومت کی حکمت عملی یہی ہے کہ ہم دوسروں پر بھی اپنا جو ہمارا استحقاق ہے وہ یقیناً اسے پیش کریں، کہ دنیا کا فرض ہے کہ وہ ہمارے جیسے ممالک اور دیگر ہمارے جیسے ممالک کی مدد کرے جو ترقی یافتہ ممالک کی غیر ذمہ دارانہ ترقی کا نشانہ بنے ہوئے ہیں، لیکن اس کے ساتھ ساتھ ہم اپنے وسائل کو بروئے کار لائیں، اپنی قوم کی جو صلاحیت ہے اسے مجمع کریں، اسے ہارنس کریں اور اسے ایک کولیبریٹو فریم ورک میں لائیں۔ اور میں آپ کو یہ بات بہت خوشی کے ساتھ بتا سکتا ہوں کہ چونکہ 2022 کے فلڈ رسپانس کی کمیٹی کی میں نے سربراہی کی تھی، اور مجھے وہ سارا مشاہدہ ہے کہ کس طریقے سے ہم نے اس تباہی کا سامنا کیا۔ اس وقت اگر کوئی دنیا کا اور ملک ہوتا اور اس کی وہ معاشی صورتحال ہوتی جو ہماری تھی کہ ہم ابھی ڈیفالٹ کے تلوار کے اوپر کھڑے تھے اور 30 ارب ڈالر کی افتاد ہم پر آ گری، تو کوئی دنیا کا اور ملک شاید اس بلا سے بچ نہ سکتا اور ڈیفالٹ ہو جاتا۔ لیکن دس گوز ٹو دا کریڈٹ آف پاکستانی نیشن کہ ہم نے اس تباہی کا سامنا بھی کیا اور ملک کی معیشت کو بھی گرنے سے بچایا اور آگے چلتے گئے۔ اور اس میں یہ بات بھی برملا کہنا چاہوں گا کہ یقیناً حکومتوں نے، وفاقی حکومت نے، صوبائی حکومتوں نے اپنا کردار ادا کیا، سرکاری اداروں نے کردار ادا کیا، لیکن اصل کردار ہماری کمیونٹیز نے ادا کیا۔ ہماری کمیونٹیز نے اور ہماری نیشن نے، ہماری قوم نے جس ریزیلینس کا مظاہرہ کیا، میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ وہ پاکستانی قوم کی بہت بڑی طاقت ہے۔ اور اگر ہم اسی ریزیلینس کو اپنی طاقت بنا کر آگے چلیں تو ہم آنے والے خطرات کے لیے بھی بہت بہتر پیش بندی کر سکتے ہیں۔ اور اس پر بھی 2010 میں ہمارے پاس بہت بڑے فلڈز آئے تھے، اور جو 2022 کا فلڈ تھا وہ اس سے 3 گنا بڑا تھا، لیکن 2010 کے فلڈز میں تقریباً 2000 سے زیادہ انسانی جانوں کا نقصان ہوا تھا، لیکن 2022 میں 3 گنا بڑے فلڈ میں صرف 1000 کے قریب جانی نقصان ہوا تھا۔ اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ وی ور ویل پریپیئرڈ، اور ہماری جو پیش بندی تھی اس سے ہم نے بہت جانی نقصان بچا لیا، وگرنہ اگر 2010 کی سطح سے آپ دیکھتے 3 گنا بڑا جو طوفان اور سیلاب تھا تو اس حساب سے 6000 کے قریب جانی اموات کا نقصان ہو سکتا تھا، لیکن صرف 1000 کے قریب ہوا۔ اسی طرح جب فلڈ ختم ہوا تو بین الاقوامی ادارے آ کر ہمیں ڈراتے تھے کہ جب فلڈ گزرے گا تو اس کے بعد جو پوسٹ فلڈ بیماریاں آپ کو گھیریں گی اس سے سینکڑوں اموات ہونے کا خطرہ ہے، چاہے اس میں کالرا ہے، چاہے اس میں بخار ہے اور دیگر بیماریاں ہیں جو فلڈ کے بعد آتی ہیں کمیونٹیز میں۔ لیکن میرا خیال ہے کہ شاید کوئی 1-2 درجن سے زیادہ اموات نہیں ہوئیں، اینڈ وی ور ایبل ٹو پرووائڈ اے ویری گڈ ہیلتھ کور ٹو آر پاپولیشن with the help of international UN agencies, with the help of our health departments, سندھ کی حکومت، بلوچستان کی حکومت، ساتھ میں پنجاب کی حکومت نے اور KP کی حکومت سے ہم نے وسائل وہاں پر بھیجے، وفاقی حکومت سے بھیجے، تو ایک مؤثر حکمت عملی کے ساتھ ہم اس تباہی سے بچنے میں کامیاب ہو گئے جس کے بارے میں فورکاسٹ کی گئی تھی کہ کئی 100 افراد فلڈ کے بعد ان بیماریوں کے نتیجے میں ان کی جانیں جا سکتی ہیں۔ تو یہ سب چیزیں اس بات کی نشاندہی کرتی ہیں کہ اگر آپ ریڈینیس کے ساتھ ان ڈیزاسٹرز کا مقابلہ کریں. اگر آپ تیاری کے ساتھ ڈیزاسٹرز کا مقابلہ کریں تو ڈیزاسٹرز کو روک تو نہیں سکتے، لیکن ڈیزاسٹرز جو نقصان کرتے ہیں اسے ہم بڑی حد تک کم کر سکتے ہیں. اور یہی وہ بنیادی محور ہے ہماری حکمت عملی کا، جو ہم نے 5 E's فریم ورک بنایا ہے کہ جس میں پاکستان کی اکانومی کو ٹرن اراؤنڈ کرنے کے لیے ہم کام کر رہے ہیں. اس میں تیسرا ای جو ہے ریلیٹس ٹو انوائرمنٹ اینڈ کلائمیٹ چینج، اور اس میں ہماری زیادہ توجہ کمیونٹیز میں ریزیلینس بلڈ کرنے میں، انفراسٹرکچر کی اڈیپٹیبلٹی کے ساتھ ساتھ فوڈ سیکیورٹی اور واٹر سیکیورٹی کے اوپر توجہ ہے. So this whole one pillar actually of the 5 pillars that we have in our economic strategy relates to this very challenge that Pakistan is facing. ضرورت اس بات کی ہے کہ ہم اب ایک خواتین و حضرات آپ سب اوپینین لیڈرز ہیں اور آپ سب اپنے اپنے شعبے میں کارآمد حیثیت کے مالک ہیں. ہمیں سنجیدگی کے ساتھ یہ سوچنا ہے کہ کلائمیٹ چینج ہی نہیں، ہم اپنی قومی صلاحیت کے بھی ایک ڈیزاسٹر رسک مینجمنٹ کے پلان پر کیسے کام کریں گے. 77 سال ہو گئے ہیں اور ہم ایک ولڈرنیس میں گھوم رہے ہیں. ایک دائروں کا سفر ہے جس میں ہم لگے ہوئے ہیں. ایک سوال ہر پاکستانی کے ذہن میں ہے کہ کیا وجہ ہے کہ ہندوستان ہم سے آگے نکل گیا، بنگلہ دیش ہم سے آگے نکل گیا، ملیشیا ہم سے آگے نکل گیا، کوریا ہم سے آگے نکل گیا، دبئی ہم سے آگے نکل گیا. یہ سارے ممالک جو ہم سے پیچھے تھے، جن میں سے کئی ممالک کو ہم اپنی ترقی سکھلاتے تھے. جب ہم نے حبیب بینک پلازا بلڈنگ بنائی 60s میں، تو کراچی سے مشرق میں اتنی اونچی کوئی عمارت کسی شہر میں نہیں تھی. تو کیا وجہ ہے کہ ہم پیچھے رہ گئے؟ کیا ہمارے اندر ذہانت کی کمی ہے؟ کیا ہمارے اندر محنت کی کمی ہے؟ کیا ہمارے اندر دیانت کی کمی ہے؟ ہمارے اندر وسائل کی کمی ہے؟ کس چیز کی کمی ہے؟ میں یہ بات بہت یقین کے ساتھ کہہ سکتا ہوں کہ ہم ان ممالک میں سے کسی ملک سے نہ ذہانت میں کم ہیں، نہ صلاحیت میں کم ہیں، نہ وسائل میں کم ہیں، اور نہ ہی دیانت میں کم ہیں. یہ سب ملک ہمارے جیسے ہی ہیں، اتنے ہی اچھے ہیں، اتنے ہی برے ہیں جتنے ہم اچھے یا برے ہیں. تو پھر کیا وجہ ہے کہ یہ ایک ایک کر کے ہمیں پیچھے چھوڑ گئے؟ دیکھیے، 77 سال کے کھیل کھیلنے کے بعد اب ہمیں یکسو ہو جانا چاہیے کہ ہر وہ ملک جو کامیاب ہوتا ہے وہ 4 چیزوں کو یقینی بناتا ہے، اس کے بعد وہ ترقی کی دوڑ کا اہل ہوتا ہے. پہلی چیز امن. وداؤٹ پیس دیر از نو ڈیولپمنٹ. دوسری چیز پولیٹیکل سٹیبلٹی. جس ملک میں سٹیبلٹی نہیں ہے وہ بھی ترقی نہیں کرتا. اور اسی سٹیبلٹی سے جڑی ہوئی تیسری چیز ہے کہ 10 سال کے لیے پالیسیز کا تسلسل، کیونکہ پالیسیز 10 سال سے پہلے نتیجہ خیز نہیں ہوتی. پالیسیز نیڈ ایٹ لیسٹ اے ڈیکیڈ. اور یہ جو عمل ہے، مختلف ممالک نے پولیٹیکل ٹینیورز کو محفوظ کر کے یقینی بنایا ہے. بھارت میں 10 سال منموہن سنگھ کے، اب 15 سال مودی کے، ان 25 سالوں میں بھارت بدل گیا. بنگلہ دیش میں 15 سال حسینہ واجد کے، ان 15 سالوں میں پالیسی کنٹینیوٹی سے بنگلہ دیش بدل گیا. جو اینڈ میں ہوا اس کی وجہ اکنامک نہیں تھی، پولیٹیکل پالیسیز تھیں. اسی طرح مہاتیر صاحب ملیشیا میں 22 سال کی کنٹینیوٹی تھی. سنگاپور میں لی کوان یو کی 31 سال کی کنٹینیوٹی تھی. کوریا میں پریزیڈنٹ پارک کی تقریباً 10 سال کی کنٹینیوٹی تھی. جاپان کے پچھلے 77 سالوں میں 4-5 سال کے علاوہ ایل پی ڈی کی حکومت رہی ہے. ایک پارٹی کا رول ہے، اگرچہ وزیر اعظم بدلتے رہے، لیکن ایک پارٹی ہیز رن جاپان فار 65 اور واٹ ایور ایئرس. چائنا since 49 one party is running the country with every president doing 10 years. Turkey 20 years of Tayyip Erdogan. Dubai stability of tenure with the ruling family. Saudi Arabia, stability of tenure with the ruling family. آپ کسی ملک کی مثال لے لیجئے, کسی ملک نے اسٹیبلٹی اور 10 سال کی پالیسیز کے کنٹینیوٹی کے پلیٹ فارم کو مہیا کیے بغیر ترقی نہیں کی. چوتھی چیز, کمٹمنٹ ٹو ریفارم. کچھ ممالک نے اسٹیبلٹی اور 30 سال کی لی. مصر ہے, 30-40 سال حسنی مبارک اور انوار السادات رہے, لیکن وہ بدل نہیں سکے. کیوں؟ کہ دیر واز نو کمٹمنٹ ٹو ریفارم, نو کمٹمنٹ ٹو چینج. سو لہٰذا پیس, اسٹیبلٹی, کنٹینیوٹی آف پالیسیز اینڈ ریفارمز, یہ 4 چیزیں کہ اگر آپ ایکو سسٹم نہیں بنائیں گے تو آپ کتنے مرضی ذہین ہوں, کتنے مرضی قابل ہوں, آپ 25 کروڑ تہجد گزار یہاں پہ لا کے جمع کر لیں, آپ کی کابینہ ساری نوبل پرائز کے لوگوں کی ہو, لیکن اگر آپ کے ملک میں امن نہیں ہوگا, استحکام نہیں ہوگا, تسلسل پالیسیز کا نہیں ہوگا اور کمٹمنٹ ٹو ریفارم نہیں ہوگی, تو وہ نوبل انعام یافتہ اور جتنے تہجد گزار ہیں سب فیل ہو جائیں گے. لیکن اس کے مقابلے میں آپ کی اوسط درجے کی قیادت ہو اور ملے جلے لوگ ہوں, لیکن یہ 4 چیزیں ہوں تو وہ ملک کہاں سے کہاں نکل جائے گا. تو اب ہم ایک انفلیکشن پوائنٹ پہ آ گئے ہیں, اور یہاں پہ آنے کے لیے ہم نے بڑی سیاسی قیمت ادا کی ہے. اپریل 22 میں اگر ہم 1 مہینے کے اندر الیکشن کرا دیتے تو ہم 2/3 اکثریت کے ساتھ جیتنے کی پوزیشن میں تھے. اپریل 22 تک حکمران جماعت اس وقت کی جو ہے ہر بائی الیکشن ہار رہی تھی, اور اس کے ہر MNA ہم سے ٹکٹ لینے کا کہاں تھا کہ آپ خدا کے لیے ہمیں ٹکٹ دے دیجئے, ہم اپنی جماعت چھوڑنا چاہتے ہیں. لیکن اس موقع پر جب ہم نے حکومت سنبھالی, ہمارے سامنے 2 راستے تھے, ہم اپنی سیاست بچائیں یا ملک کی معیشت بچائیں. چونکہ اگر ہم الیکشن کراتے تو کم از کم 4 مہینے کے لیے ملک کو فری فال میں پھینکنا پڑنا تھا. 3 مہینے کی الیکشن کیمپین اور 1 مہینہ حکومت سازی کا, 4 مہینے کے لیے کوئی ملک کے اندر نہ ہوتا. اس وقت لوگ شرطیں لگا رہے تھے کہ پاکستان 2 ہفتے میں سری لنکا بنے گا یا 4 ہفتے میں بنے گا. تو کیا ہمارے پاس 4 مہینے کی مدت تھی کہ ہم رسک لیتے کہ ملک کو فری فال میں پھینک دیں اور ڈیفالٹ کر جائے؟ پاکستان's default would not have been default of Sri Lanka. It would have been a default of a nuclear power. اس کے نتائج بہت سنگین تھے. تو لہٰذا 12 جماعتوں نے, وہ سب جماعتیں ایک دوسرے کی دوست نہیں تھیں, آگ اور پانی والی جماعتیں تھیں, لیکن انہوں نے ملک کے مفاد میں اپنی میچورٹی کا مظاہرہ کرتے ہوئے اس چیلنج کو قبول کیا کہ ہم ملک کو ڈیفالٹ ہونے سے بچائیں گے, اور جو بھی اس کے لیے ہوگا ہم کریں گے. اور سخت فیصلے کیے, وہ فیصلے کیے جو پچھلی حکومت IMF کے ساتھ طے کر کے گئی تھی. چونکہ اس وقت اگر بیل آؤٹ کرنا تھا پاکستان کو تو IMF کے پاس جانا ناگزیر ہو گیا تھا, چونکہ ذخائر ختم ہو چکے تھے. تو IMF نے کہا کہ here is the agreement signed by your previous government. We don't know who is this guy Shaukat Tareen. This is Finance Minister of Pakistan. Either take it or leave it. We didn't have the option to leave it. تو لہٰذا اس معاہدے کے اندر کہا گیا تھا کہ جی تیل کی قیمت بین الاقوامی قیمت کے ساتھ آئے گی, سبسڈی ختم ہوگی, بجلی سے سبسڈی ختم ہوگی. کسی حکومت میں اتنی پولیٹیکل میچورٹی ہوتی ہے کہ وہ جانے کہ اگر 1 مہینے میں آپ پٹرول اور ڈیزل کی قیمت 150 روپیہ بڑھائیں گے تو اس کا کیا امپیکٹ ہوگا. لیکن کیا چوائس تھی اس وقت؟ نہیں تھی. اور آئی تھنک اٹ گوز ٹو دا کریڈٹ آف پاکستانی نیشن کہ پاکستانی نیشن نے بھی اس چیلنج کو سمجھا اور ایک بڑی بٹر پل سوالو کی. آپ کو پتہ ہے یہاں 4 آنے چینی کی قیمت بڑھنے پہ ایوب خان کی حکومت چلی گئی تھی. تو ایک حکومت کے دور میں 150 روپیہ پٹرول ڈیزل کی قیمت بڑھ جائے, مہنگائی کا ایک اس سے طوفان آ جائے, یٹ وی ڈڈ ناٹ سی کہ کسی قسم کی پولیٹیکل اسٹرائف یا ہو, چونکہ پیپل ریئلائز کہ دیر از نو ادر آپشن. اور یہ ایک کڑوی گولی ہے جو ہمیں نگلنی ہے، اور میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ لوگوں نے بہت زیادہ انڈرسٹینڈنگ کا ثبوت دیا، اور ہم وہ سخت فیصلوں کے ساتھ ملک کو بچانے میں کامیاب ہوئے، اور ایک لمبے جرنی کے بعد آج ہم اس مقام پر دوبارہ کھڑے ہیں کہ وی کین لک فارورڈ وتھ آپٹمزم۔ پاکستان کو آج دنیا ایک سکسیسفل ٹرن اراؤنڈ کنٹری کے طور پہ دوبارہ دیکھنا شروع ہو گئی ہے۔ ہماری انفلیشن کی شرح 38% سے گر کے 6.7% پہ آ چکی ہے۔ ہمارے ملک کے اندر خسارہ ختم ہو چکا ہے تجارتی، جو کہ منہ کھول کے ناقابل برداشت ہو چکا تھا۔ ہماری اسٹاک مارکیٹ جو ہے وہ تاریخی ریکارڈ بنا رہی ہے، 91,000 سے اوپر چلی گئی ہے، جو کہ پچھلی حکومت کے دور میں شاید 27,000 کی انڈیکس پہ آ کے کریش کر چکی تھی۔ اس کا کیا مطلب ہے؟ اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ جو انویسٹر کمیونٹی ہے، they are showing confidence in the direction and the decisions that the government is taking, and they are showing hope in future. یہ جو ہوپ ہے، ہم نے اس ہوپ کو زندہ رکھنا ہے، اور اس انفلیکشن پوائنٹ پہ کہ جو ایک ایسا موقع ہے دوبارہ کہ جب ٹائیڈز ہیو چینجڈ، جب ہواؤں کی رخ چینج ہو رہا ہے اور موافق ہوائیں ہمیں ملنے لگی ہیں، تو ہم کیا اس کا فائدہ لے کے پاکستان کو ٹیک آف کر سکتے ہیں؟ کر سکتے ہیں، بشرطے کہ ہم پازیٹیو سینرجی کا مظاہرہ کریں۔ کوئی حکومت اکیلے یہ کام نہیں کر سکتی۔ اس وقت پوری قوم کو مل کر پاکستان کو وہ پوش دینی ہے کہ جس سے ایک سینرجی ہو۔ میں جب کالج میں پڑھتا تھا، لاہور گورنمنٹ کالج میں، تو ہمارے روٹ پہ لاہور ٹرانسپورٹ سروس کی بس 27 نمبر روٹ تھا جو فیروزپور روڈ سے چلتی تھی، اور وہ بڑی پرانی بسیں تھکی ہوئی چلا کرتی تھیں، تو اکثر وہ بریک ڈاؤن کر جاتی تھیں، تو پھر کنڈکٹر جو اسٹوڈنٹس تھے انہیں اتار کے کہتا تھا کہ جی آؤ دھکا لگاؤ۔ تو جب ہم دھکا لگاتے تھے کہتا نہیں جی موشن بناؤ۔ وہ موشن بنانے کا کیا تعلق مطلب تھا؟ اس کا مطلب یہ تھا کہ جب آپ اپنی ایفرٹ کو سنکرونائز کرتے ہیں، تو اگر 6 لوگ دھکا لگا رہے ہیں تو وہ 6 لوگوں کا دھکا 20 لوگوں کا دھکا بن جاتا ہے۔ لیکن اگر آپ سنکرونائز نہیں کرتے اپنی ایفرٹ، تو بھلے 50 لوگ ہوں، ان کی ایفرٹ 10 لوگوں کے برابر شمار ہوتی ہے۔ So I think we are now at a point where we need to synchronize efforts of the government with the private sector and civil society. ہم سب اگر ایک ہی ڈائریکشن میں ایک ہی قدم کے ساتھ چلیں گے تو مجھے یقین ہے کہ اگلے 3 سے 4 سالوں میں پاکستان will again regain its place among the 5 fastest growing emerging economies in Asia. It is doable and it is in sight now. لیکن اگر ہم نے خود کو منتشر رکھا اور خود کو نفرتوں میں الجھا کے ملک کے اندر بے یقینی، عدم استحکام اور انتشار کی فضا رکھی، تو پھر کوئی ہماری مدد نہیں کر سکتا، فرشتے بھی ہماری مدد کو نہیں آئیں گے، چونکہ خدا بھی انہی کی مدد کرتا ہے جو اپنی مدد خود کرتے ہیں۔ آپ مجھے بتائیے what kind of culture are we promoting؟ اگر لنڈن میں قاضی فائز عیسیٰ صاحب جو ہمارے چیف جسٹس ہیں، ان کو برطانیہ کے ادارے نے اعزاز دیا ہے، تو پاکستانیوں کے لیے تو خوشی کی بات ہونی چاہیے۔ ہم لندن کی سڑکوں پر اپنے ہی چیف جسٹس کے خلاف نعرے لگا کے نہ قاضی فائز عیسیٰ کی عزت میں کمی نہیں کر رہے، ان کو تو اعزاز مل گیا، لیکن ہم پاکستان کا ڈنکا بجا رہے ہیں کہ پاکستانی قوم اپنی ڈرٹی لینن باہر کے سڑکوں چوراہوں کے اوپر آ کے دھوتی ہے۔ مجھے بتائیے، ہمارا ہمسایہ ملک ہے، کتنی مخاصمت ہے کانگریس کی اور بی جے پی کی۔ مجھے تو ابھی تک کوئی واقعہ یاد نہیں کہ پرائم منسٹر مودی کسی شہر میں گئے ہوں تو کانگریس والوں نے نیو یارک میں، لنڈن میں اس قسم کے نعرے لگائے ہوں اور ایسی حرکت کی ہو، یا راہل گاندھی کہیں گیا ہو تو وہاں پر باہر کے کسی ملک کے اندر بی جے پی والوں نے ایسا کیا ہو۔ فار دیٹ میٹر ایون بنگلہ دیش، حسینہ واجد اور خالدہ ضیاء کے درمیان کتنی مخاصمت تھی، لیکن میں نے عوامی لیگ اور ان کی جو بنگلہ دیش نیشنل پارٹی ہے، ان کو لندن امریکہ یورپ کے شہروں پہ سڑکوں پہ اس طرح لڑتے ہوئے نہیں دیکھا. بھائی سیاست پاکستان کے اندر ہے, پاکستان سے باہر ہم پاکستانی ہیں. دیر از اونلی ون آئیڈینٹی دیٹ وی کیری, دیٹ از یہ سبز ہلالی پرچم. ہمیں اس کی گلوری کے لیے کام کرنا ہے. لیکن اگر ہم یہ انٹالرنس لے کر آئیں گے کہ جہاں پر ایک دوسرے کو گندا کرنے کے لیے ہم بیرون ملک بھی اپنی شناخت کو اس طرح پیش کریں گے, تو آئی تھنک دین نو ون کین ہیلپ اس. آئی تھنک دس از ویئر ناؤ وی ہیو ٹو اسٹینڈ اپ اینڈ کال اے اسپیڈ اے اسپیڈ. اس لیے میں یہ باتیں کر رہا ہوں کہ میں اس نفرت کا خود نشانہ بنا ہوا ہوں. آئی کیری دیٹ بلٹ ان مائی باڈی. جو 6 سال پہلے اسی طرح کی نفرت کی مہم جو چلائی گئی, اس سے متاثر ہو کے ایک نوجوان نے پستول کی گولی سے اس نفرت کو نکال کر میری جان لینے کی کوشش کی. تو یہ رویے جو ہمارے اندر تقسیم پیدا کریں, ہمیں آپس میں لڑائیں, ہمیں نفرتوں کی دیواروں میں تقسیم کر دیں, اب وقت آ گیا ہے کہ ہم میچیورٹی کا مظاہرہ کریں. ہمارے اپنے نظریات ہو سکتے ہیں, ہماری اپنی پسند ناپسند ہو سکتی ہے, لیکن ہم میں سے کوئی بڑا پاکستانی اور کوئی دوسرا چھوٹا پاکستانی نہیں ہو سکتا. اپنی اس چوائس کے ساتھ ہم سب برابر پاکستانی ہیں. جب تک یہ سوچ ہمارے اندر غالب نہیں آئے گی, ہم آگے بحیثیت قوم نہیں بڑھ سکتے. تو اسی لیے میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ چاہے وہ کلائمیٹ چینج ہے, چاہے وہ معاشی میدان ہے, ان سب سے نبٹنے کے لیے ہمیں ایک ٹیم پاکستان بننے کی ضرورت ہے. اور ہم اگر ٹیم پاکستان بن کے کام کریں گے تو انشاءاللہ تعالی پاکستان سرخرو ہوگا. اور آخر میں آپ کو یہ کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ دیکھیے, وی کیری اے بگ برڈن آف ہسٹری آن آور شولڈرز. In 23 years, 2 countries will be facing history in this part of the world, India and Pakistan, as they celebrate their 100 years, 2047. ہمارے جو بچے ہیں, جو آج یونیورسٹی میں نوجوان ہیں, آج سے 23 سال کے بعد they will be at the peak of their careers. تو کیا تاریخ کے سامنے ہم سر اٹھا کے کھڑے ہوں گے, یا ہم تعویلیں پیش کر رہے ہوں گے کہ ہم کیوں نہیں اتنا اچھا کر سکے جتنا ہمارا ہمسایہ ملک کر سکا. اور مجھے یقین ہے کہ اگر ہم ان 23 سالوں میں ایک پرعزم سفر کا آغاز کر دیں تو our size is our advantage. In this world of change, Pakistan is 10 times more agile than our neighboring country, and we can change much faster. We can adopt things much faster, and we can run much faster than our neighboring country, and we can also catch up for what we have lost in the past. But if we kept doing what we have been doing for 77 years, as they say, if you keep doing what you are doing, you will keep getting what you are getting. And if you want to stop getting what you are getting, you have to stop doing what you are doing. So ہمیں اب اپنے اس احساس اور جذبے کے ساتھ کہ ہم نے اپنی اگلی نسلوں کو تاریخ کے سامنے سرخرو کرنا ہے. اس ملک میں امن, استحکام, پالیسیز کے تسلسل اور اصلاحات کے عمل کو ہم سب نے اپنی اپنی سطح پہ اس کا سہارا بننا ہے, اس کو منتشر کرنے کا ذریعہ نہیں بننا. یہی ایک راستہ ہے کامیابی کا. میں امید کرتا ہوں کہ NDRMF اور ان کے پارٹنرز مل کر پاکستان میں اس چیلنج کا سامنا کرنے کے لیے جو ریسورس موبلائزیشن کرنی ہے ہر سطح کے اوپر, اور جو ایک پلاننگ کرنی ہے سب سے مل کر, اور جو انوویشن درکار ہے کہ ہم نئے راستے تلاش کریں, نئی راہیں اور نئے ذرائع ٹیکنالوجی کے ذریعے لا کر اسمارٹ رسپانسز لے کر آئیں. اس کام کو کرنے کے لیے یہ نیٹ ورک اپنا انشاءاللہ کردار ادا کرے گا, اینڈ ول میک پاکستان اے اسٹرانگ, ریزیلینٹ, اڈیپٹیبل کنٹری ٹو میٹ فیوچر ڈیزاسٹرز, so that we can continue our economic journey in future without much setbacks. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insights and time to be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to our Accreditation Award ceremony. I would again request Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, Mr. S.N. Iqbal, to please join us on the stage to present letters to our accredited organization. Additionally, please join me in welcoming Mr. Bilal Anwar, CEO of NDRMF, to the stage. I would also request Mr. Bilal Zafar, the CFO of NDRMF, to please join us on the stage. Should I start? Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Amir, Country Director of Action Against Hunger, ACF, to please come on the stage to receive his certificate. Mr. Muhammad Amir, ACF. Next, I invite Mr. Sarfraz Laldeen, Country Director of ACTED International. Mr. Sarfraz Laldeen. Next, I invite Ms. Nusrat Nisab, Aga Khan, Agency for Habitat, ACA. Next, I invite Mr. Irshad Abbasi, Program Advisor, Rural Development, Civil Society and Habitat, AKF. Next, I invite Ms. Susan Aziz, Head of Gender and Safeguarding, AKRSP. Next, I invite Dr. Tahir Rashid, CEO of Balochistan Rural Sport Program, BRSP. Next, I invite Mr. Abdul Shakur, CEO of Friends Welfare Association. Next, I invite Mr. Ashfaq Ahmed, CEO of GBRSP, Gilgit-Baltistan Rural Sport Program. I invite Dr. Arjuman Nizami, Country Director of Helvidas. Next, I invite Mr. Daud Saklain, Country Director of Human Appeal. I invite Ms. Shabnam Baloch, Country Director of International Rescue Committee, IRC. I invite Mr. Asif Ali Shirazi, Country Director of Islamic Relief, Pakistan. Next, I invite Mr. Javed Iqbal, Country Director of KNK, Japan. Next, I invite Dr. Asif Iqbal Awan, Country Director of Muslim Aid, Pakistan. Next, I invite Muhammad Asim Salim, Country Director of Mercy Corps. Next, I invite Mr. Syed Javed Gilani, Executive Director of Muslim Hands. Next, I invite Dr. Altaf Abro, Head of Mission of SIF. Next, I invite Mr. Masoodul Malak, CEO of Sarhad Rural Support Program. I invite Dr. Masood Abbasi, Acting CEO of Tamir Halq Foundation. Next, I invite Sahibzada Ghulam Mohiuddin, CEO of Trust for Voluntary Organizations, TVO. I invite Ms. Aisha Jamshed, Country Director of WHH. Next, I invite Dr. Muhammad Hayat, CEO of WORDS, Reformist Social Welfare and Development Organization. I invite Mr. Mubashir Nabi, Founder President of ACT Aiming Change for Tomorrow. I invite Mr. Nematullah Khan, Deputy Head of Mission of CHESV. I invite Mr. Makbul Ahmed Raho, Deputy CEO of Health and Nutrition Development Society, HANDS. I invite Ms. Saman Islam, CEO of HDF Human Development Foundation. I invite Mr. Razullah Jan, Executive Director of Health Education and Development Society. I invite Mr. Salim Ahmed, CEO of Hujra Village Support Organization, HVSO. I invite Mr. Muhammad Junaid Sheikh, Executive Director of MDF Management Development Foundation. Next, I invite Mr. Adil Rahmat, Chief Executive Officer of Park Mission Society, PMS. And lastly, I invite Ms. Aifa Mazhar, CEO of Strengthening Participatory Organization, SPO. Mr. Fahim Ahmed, on behalf of Ms. Arfa, please come on stage and receive the letter. Certificate, sorry. Sir, please remain on stage. We also appreciate our staff who participated in the accreditation cycle. First of all, I would like to invite, she's already on the stage, Ms. Sadaf Tahir. She is the accreditation lead, so please receive her letter of appreciation. Okay. So next I invite Mr. Abdul Wahid, Assistant Manager, Disaster Risk Reduction. I invite Mr. Muhammad Mujahid Afzal, Deputy Manager, Fund Management, Livelihood and Special Projects Cell. Mr. Muhammad Mujahid. I invite Mr. Shabib Hussain, Deputy Manager, Social Safeguards. I invite Mr. Ali Durrani, Deputy Manager, Environment Safeguards. Okay. Okay. So, thank you so much, sir. on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, for the group photo, I would invite, so he's going or what should I do? I think sir is leaving. We will take a group photo when he'll be back. Sorry? Okay. ठीक है. सदब वो पेज कहाँ से लग गया? बच्चे गिर गए. Tea break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short tea break. This is a great opportunity for networking. We will resume within 20 minutes. Thank you so much for your participation. Ladies and gentlemen, please proceed for the tea for the right side of the hall. Thank you. और उसके बाद बस क्लोजिंग लंच है जल्दी एक्चुअली मसला पता है क्या है Ladies and gentlemen, I would request heads of accredited organization please gather for a group photo on a media wall. Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. I would request head of accredited organization please gather on a media wall for a group photo. Barira? I would request please heads of accredited organization please gather on a media wall for the group picture. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the tea break. May I kindly ask everyone to please return your seats so we are ready to resume the program. Thank you. May I kindly ask everyone to please return to your seats as we are ready to resume the program. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Please feel free to give your feedback on regarding the accreditation process. You can see the wall on our left side over there, and there are envelopes also. So please feel free to give your suggestions and any feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated so we can continue our program. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed your tea. So we will continue our appreciation letter to the staff who contributed in the accreditation process. So may I request Mr. Bilal Anwar, the CEO of NDRMF, please join us on the stage. Additionally, I would also invite Mr. Bilal Anwar, the CFO of NDRMF. Sir, please join us on the stage. So first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Ali Durrani, Deputy Manager, Environmental Safeguards, to please receive your letter. Next, I will invite Ms. Amna Jabbar, Deputy Manager, Gender, to please receive your letter. Next, I invite Mr. Badiuzzzaman Hasib, Deputy Manager, Legal and Contract, to please join us on the stage. Mr. Badiuzzzaman Hasib. I invite Mr. Muhammad Asif, Manager, Procurement. Please join us on the stage. Mr. Muhammad Asif, Manager, Procurement. I invite Ms. Asma Iftihar, Deputy Manager, Procurement. Please come on the stage to receive your letter. I invite Mr. Tariq Akhtar, Assistant Manager, Procurement, to please receive your letter. I invite Mr. Sajjad Hussain, Assistant Manager, FMG Group. I invite Mr. Wasim Iqbal, FMG Coordinator, to please join us on the stage to receive your letter. Next, I invite Mr. Shahid Sadiq, Executive Assistant, Logistics and Purchase. Please join us on the stage and receive your letter. I invite Mr. Mubarak Shah, Coordinator, Project and Operations Group. Please join us on the stage.
Check.
And lastly, I myself, as I was also the part of the accreditation, so I'm just nominating myself. Thank you so much, Mr. Bilal, and thank you so much, Mr. Bilal Zafar, for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your patience. To give us a comprehensive overview of the accreditation cycle 2024, I would like to invite Ms. Sadaf Tahir. She is the accreditation lead and the Deputy Manager Project Administration Manual 8 NDRMF. Thank you. Please welcome Ms. Sadaf Tahir on the stage.
Okay, ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will start my presentation. I would like you to go through the journey that we have been together for so many months. So most of you are familiar with the format that we have followed throughout the process, but it's just to refresh our minds and see how we passed each stage together. So first I will like to give an overview of how the journey of accreditation 2024 started, and today we have accomplished it. In NDRMF, we work with two types of partners, that is public organizations and non-public organizations. So public organizations are mostly the government departments, and for them, we usually go for fiduciary assessment. Whenever they submit a project and that is then approved, then we go for a fiduciary assessment. So accreditation is not required for them. There is a checklist that is already devised, and once the project is considered, then the fiduciary assessment is conducted by our team. In terms of non-public, we have a versatile diaspora with whom we are working. In a moment, I will share with you. But for UN agencies, we consider them automatically accredited, and as usual, just like government entities, we complete a fiduciary assessment if they succeed for some financial assistance. In terms of non-public organizations, we have to follow the strict process of accreditation, in which you are well versed with the accreditation pro forma, which is sometimes I hear that it's very lengthy, and even when we were compiling the results, we came to know that there are 173 sub-criteria against whom we are rating all of you. So see that how cumbersome it was for us as well. when we were looking at the documentation of 47 organizations and 173 sub-criteria for each main criteria. So the question arises that why accredit with NDRMF? So first of all, government-owned financial intermediary. It has a good reputation. Then being a financial intermediary, we have a multifold responsibility on our shoulders to ensure transparency, accountability, and value for money. So choosing the right partner is very important. Therefore, we make sure that the organizations that are accredited with us are transparent, accountable, and make sure in their systems, policies, and procedures about the value for money. Then we see that it's a recognizable platform. If you get accredited with NDRMF, then many other organizations automatically consider you for their programs and policies, and they consider you as a stakeholders. In other words, if I see the organizations who were part of this accreditation process, they got a chance to streamline their policies, processes, systems, and they improved their systems. Now at least I can see and I can claim with confidence that most of you are now in a position that whatever type of accreditation or requirement comes from any donor agency, you have systems and policies and documentation in place, so you can within no time submit your documentation whenever required. So it has helped you to build your own capacity as well. Capacity development and innovative programming opportunities are here with NDRMF. NDRMF is a donor that has now opened its venues for innovation, and we are happy to see whenever there is something new coming on and the organizations are coming forward to implement something new and test it in the context of Pakistan. We are providing a platform where you can experiment the indigenous knowledge as well as bring in the regional and global knowledge together in Pakistan and work for the betterment of making Pakistan resilient. And I have already told that we are providing an enabling environment where you can replicate your best practices for the betterment of Pakistan. You can see that there is a balance that is being created. On one side, there is NDRMF is pushing downwards, and accreditation organizations, these are trying to keep the balance. So this diagram was just to show that we can together work to create a balance and harmony in Pakistan. Now, I would like to give you a small overview of how this accreditation process started in NDRMF. NDRMF was established in 2016, and it became functional in 2018. So in 2018, the very first accreditation process started, and as a result, many organizations applied. Some succeeded and some could not. I will later on share the data with you. Then there came a period of dormancy, 2009 to 2023, where some organizations did apply for accreditation, but the accreditation window was stopped, so it was not pursued as persistently as it should have been. Then in 2023, with the closure of our phase 1, we came together with our stakeholders and we decided to think over the processes and revamp our accreditation system. In this case, I really am thankful to all of you for your contributions in making it more systemic and more functional. Then in 2023, we started consultation processes, and in 2024, we managed to launch a proper systematic accreditation process. What are the improvements I'll share with you? This accreditation cycle that is now being completed, this has left some more lessons learned for us. On the basis of that, we are going to further improve and fine-tune our systems. Accreditation cycle will now open on annual basis. There will be no dormancy period. So every year, we will, for some time, we will open the accreditation process so that if any organization who wants to be part of our family, so we can give them an opportunity. Then validity period is now 3 years for each organization who is accredited. So after every 3 years, we will be sitting together and again looking for any changes and any improvements in the systems. Then capacity building opportunities for the aspirant organizations. This is something very new that NDRMF has opened for all the organizations who are willing, especially those who are small organizations relatively and are in the learning phase and are improving their systems. So we are creating the capacity building opportunities that we are soon going to announce. Okay, now what was different in accreditation cycle 2024? Most of you have given us reflection. In my second session, I will definitely share with you the results of those reflections. But mostly what I have heard from people and what I have observed is that this was more refined and systemic. We had a proper process flow in which we had 7 milestones and 14 steps to achieve. Then we have fixed validity period of 3 years. Accreditation will open on annual basis. Then we included in it the M&E, social, environmental safeguards, project program management for the very first time in the accreditation performa, then DRR, climate change adaptation criteria, and last but not the least, the due diligence visits that we have conducted in all our partner organizations. This really helped us to see from the lens. When we open the documents in the office environment, it has something different to offer. But when we go into the organizational offices and sometimes in the field areas as well, we got the chance to visit some of the field areas of some of the partners. So it was really helpful in understanding the real capacity of those organizations and real face of those organizations. So this was, for me, this was really a value addition. Quick response. We tried to be as quick in providing you response for your queries as possible, as much possible. Addition of critical institutional capacity criteria in the accreditation assessment process. Then we are going to work now on risk mitigation plans because there are certain organizations who are in high risk, some are in moderate risk, and some are in low risk. So we will definitely work with all those organizations to improve their risk management plans and build their capacities along those risk mitigation plans. Capacity building opportunities to interested applicant organizations, as I have already shared. Then collection of reflections, feedback from the applicant organizations. This is first time in the history of NDRMF that we have taken the reflections about our accreditation process. And so it was really a two-way process in which we learned from you and we improved our systems as well. And we are going to continue these reflections. Request for reconsideration of the decision on the basis of provision of solid justification. So we have also provided an opportunity for the organizations that if you provide a solid justification and if you are not agreed with our decision, so you can give us a solid justification and request for reconsideration. So this is for the first time that we have introduced in our system. So these are this is a glimpse of the steps, 7 milestones and different steps that we had followed. You are very well aware of it. If you want me to go through each and every step, then we can go. Otherwise, I think you are familiar with it. It is just the call for accreditation and then submission of letter of intent. That was the first step from all of your organizations. And then we shared with you our performance. And then we acknowledged your letter of intent. Then you submit accreditation package. Then we go for a completeness check that whether according to the accreditation performer, you have submitted all the documentation or not. Once we check it, we come back to you and we tell you that these areas are for improvement. Okay, then once this is done, again, the organization submits the missing documents. Once they submit, we do a final desk review, then we go for a due diligence visit, and then we compile our results. We show these to our management and get approvals. And then, of course, there is, if someone wants to request for reconsideration, and then we convey final decisions. And Also, reflection is also our step number 13, where we must ensure that we take reflections from our partners. And step 14 is accreditation award ceremony that we are holding today. In accreditation criteria, these are almost the same accreditation criteria that you have seen in the pro forma. We first check the eligibility, that the organization must be registered in Pakistan or with some registration authority. Then proper financial management system should be there, and there should be a proper audit being done by the recognized auditing firms. Then organizations must have experience of similar nature of projects. Then we go for institutional capacity assessment, and in that we have organizational structure, regulatory and legal regimes, financial management and internal controls, procurement management, environmental safeguards, social safeguards, gender and inclusion, monitoring and evaluation, capacity assessment, and capacity assessment of the project management, project portfolio in terms of DRR and climate change adaptation, and then due diligence visits. So you can see that each of these criteria, when we see them overall, there are 173 sub-criteria. So scoring mechanism, what we have adopted was to make sure that we don't influence or bias the results. So we did not adopt the range scoring mechanism, in which certain ranges given to the evaluators, and they can assign any number according to their will and wish. But this time we awarded one number to each criteria. And we had categories of compliance, partial compliance, and non-compliance. So any organization who was complying had one score in compliance. If it was partial compliance, the organization had one score in partial compliance. And if it was non-compliance, so one score was given in non-compliance. And the formula that we used for overall compliance and range of compliance and percentage of compliance is already depicted here to make sure that compliance and partial compliance are given due weightage. Then risk categorization, it is done on the percentage basis. Any organization who has achieved 70 to 100% scoring, then we have categorized it in low risk category and is accredited. The organizations who scored between 50 to 69% are conditionally accredited in medium risk category, and we will be working with them very closely to improve their systems, policies, and procedures. Then third category is the high risk, in which the range obtained is 0 from 49%. Any organization who falls within this range could not, unfortunately, succeed in getting accreditation with NDRMF, but we will definitely help them build their capacities. So internal review committee, in internal review committee, there was legal and contracts personnel, there were financial management group personnel, procurement management, disaster risk reduction, climate change adaptation, gender and inclusion, social safeguard, environmental safeguard, monitoring and evaluation, projects appraisal and management. So you see, we ensured that for each and every criteria, there must be an expert in the team who can evaluate the system's policies and procedures. And then the accreditation lead has a role to compile all the results from all these desk officers and then get endorsement from, final endorsement from these desk officers. Then final recommendations are presented to the competent authority of NDRMF, and CEO gives the final approval for recommendations. In first phase, you can see that 53 organizations had applied in 2018. And there were 38 NGOs, 9 INGOs, and 6 UN agencies, out of which 23 were accredited. 6 agencies were already automatically accredited. Then 2 NGOs and 15 INGOs could succeed in getting accreditation with NDRMF. Now here you can see that in accreditation 2024, there is a diaspora of organizations where we have NGOs, INGOs, companies, trust as well, and one UN agency. So in these 47 organizations had applied with the letter of intent to NDRMF. Ultimately, 39 organizations submitted their complete packages with the accreditation packages with NDRMF, out of which 22 succeeded. And let me go to next slide. So 22 organizations were fully accredited, 9 organizations conditionally accredited, and 8 are non-accredited. So this was the overall figure that we achieved after all this hassle. And good thing is that I would really like to thank all of you for coordination and collaboration and being open in your feedback and thoughts. And I would like to thank our CEO because he gave us the full confidence and liberty to work and devise the accreditation system. So I'm really thankful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Sadaf, for your dedication and insights. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move into our panel discussion, we will hear directly from our accredited FIP partners about their experiences during the accreditation process. I would now like to introduce and invite our distinguished panelists to share their insights with us. First of all, I would like to invite Mr. Irshad Abbasi, Program Advisor, Rural Development, Civil Society and Habitat, Khan Foundation. Please, sir, join us on the stage. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Nusrat Nisab, CEO of Khan Agency for Habitat. I would like to invite Mr. Asif Shirazi, Country Director of Islamic Relief, Pakistan. And lastly, I would like to invite Mr. Asif Iqbal Awan, Country Director of Muslim Aid, Pakistan. Thank you to all of our panelists for joining us. Thank you once again to all the distinguished panelists for joining us. So I will start my first question with Asif Saab, Country Director of Muslim Aid. Sir, could you please introduce Muslim Aid Pakistan and give us an overview of its mission?
Thank you so much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Muslim Aid Pakistan was established in 1985. So this year, almost we are celebrating our 40 years in the humanitarian sector. We are working almost in 25 countries, some other affiliated offices, including Palestine, Gaza. So we are very actively involved to provide the support to our brothers and sisters in Palestine. In Pakistan, we have started our work after the earthquake in 2005. Since then, we are providing the humanitarian services across the country, starting from Balochistan, KPK, Sindh, Punjab, Southern Punjab. So in last almost 20 years, we have provided our services to almost like 3 million people across the country. Mostly our work focused on the emergency response, wash and sanitation, education, and some cross-cutting with the gender, safeguarding, and health. Recently, we have also introduced globally a new thematic area, which is housing. And we are very actively involved in Pakistan with the Sindh housing project as well. Till now, we have almost constructed like 300 houses in Sindh and KPK, and Alhamdulillah, we are going to construct more houses in coming years. We also introduced a concept of the smart house, okay, because previously most of the organization after the disasters, they are working on the one-room shelters or so which could not like provide the basic necessities to the affected population or the communities. So we came up with the idea of the smart home. At least it should contain a kitchen, a washroom, a veranda, or with a solar panel, with a courtyard. Okay. So this was very much like appreciated even globally and also in Sindh as well. And we are also leading the hub in Sindh by the Sindh Housing Project. So this is our overall like situation, overall like work across the country, and we are also very initial partners with the NDRMF since the start 2018, and with the we have faced also like both of us, like NDRMF and Muslim Aid Pakistan, we have faced a lot of hard time at the start, but Alhamdulillah, we were very keen to achieve our goals, to provide and to make the resilient community, especially in Balochistan. So we did a lot of work in Balochistan by constructing the reservoirs and flood protection
Yeah, I'm
walls.
just coming on this side. Thank you very much for the brief overview of your organization. Sir, my next question is about your experiences. Muslim Aid has been a strong partner implementing 2 resilience projects in Balochistan with the NDRMF support. So can you please tell us that what are some of the key insights and takeaways from this collaboration?
Yeah, thank you so much. As I already said that, okay, we are very initial partner with the NDRMF. No doubt we have faced some difficulties in phase 1 because that was the first time and the team from the Muslim Aid and NDRMF, we were struggling to strengthen the systems, to understand the systems, and but Alhamdulillah, I can say that, okay, now at this stage, we are very much familiar, not only the Muslim Aid Pakistan team, but also NDRMF team with our systems. And in Balochistan, we started from Chagi, okay, and mostly our aim as a Muslim charity that, okay, because we have, Alhamdulillah, acceptance in the community, and we want to target those areas where the other organizations are reluctant to go. So we started from the very remote area of Chagi, and then Kila Saifullah. Then we also came to Loralai. We have constructed 31 flood protection walls in phase 1 and phase 2, and then we also constructed 10 water reservoirs or small dams over there. What we have learned throughout all these phases that, okay, in phase 1, as I said before, that, okay, we came with this idea of to make the community resilient, and there was a lot of problems faced. But then in phase 2, the lesson which we learned from the phase 1, so we actively involved the community over there, and we asked their insight and their inputs in phase 2. And that would help us to make more concrete interventions in. So not only from these reservoirs, there was an idea that, okay, not only to store the water in these reservoirs, but also to link these reservoirs to their food security through the irrigation channels. Okay. So these were some of the new ideas which came up, and we inbuilt all these ideas in the next phase, and we also involved community elders, we also involved the government stakeholders over there, and I would like to say that, okay, we have a very good acceptance, and we build a very good relationship in Balochistan with the authorities at district level, at provincial level, and also at federal level. So this was our good experience going together with the NDRMF.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences and learnings with us. So my next question is Mr. Asif Shirazi, the Country Director of Islamic Relief Pakistan. Sir, my question is with you. Could you please briefly introduce Islamic Relief Pakistan to our audience?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me on this panel discussion. And Islamic Relief in Pakistan started its operation in 1992. We are a part of the Federation. Our global headquarters is in Birmingham, England, UK, where Islamic Relief started in 1984, a year before Muslim Aid. They started from London, we started from Birmingham. Currently, Islamic Relief has its presence in 40 countries, where Islamic Relief has its offices, and then working with some of the non-presence countries also. So in Pakistan, since 1992, Islamic Relief is engaged in the humanitarian response. That is part of our DNA, as well as we are working in a climate change, water resource management, food security and livelihoods. And as I mentioned, that the humanitarian response and recovery is part of our DNA. So with the recent 2022 floods, Islamic Relief was able to reach at speed and scale, and we served more than 1.8 million people in KP, Balochistan and Sindh. And we are also in the recovery or early recovery phase, part of the 4RF approach. And we constructed more than 11,000 houses in the recovery phase. And Islamic Relief has a staff of around 600 people across all provinces, from like AJK to Sindh. We are also working in Balochistan. In Balochistan, we have a 23 years old presence in some of the most difficult areas. And the other work, which is also one of the very important and very close to the hearts of our program, is our work with our children, especially with the orphan children and their mothers. So we are working on those issues also.
Thank you, sir, for the brief introduction. Sir, I would also like to know about your projects. Like IRP has completed 2 DRR projects in Balochistan in KP with NDRMF funding. So what has your experience been working with NDRMF on these initiatives?
Yes, there are various angles or aspects of our partnership with NDRMF. One is, of course, like we were their accredited partner in the last phase, the rapid one, in which Islamic Relief implemented some of the retrofittings and the protection walls, as well as some of the irrigation channels. And then the soft component of the DRR was the community trainings in DRR, organize the community structures and having the DRR committees and everything. That was our first phase, first project of DRR, which was in Balochistan. And the impact of that project I personally have seen in Balochistan, where at least 27 villages were saved from the 2022 mega flood, which was everywhere in those districts, Quetta, Panchpai and Noshki. While those 27 villages were with the support of NDRMF, we had this intervention of protection walls as well as the delay action dam and the check dams, it saved that population as well as it improved their food security and livelihood. The reason was that the disaster in those areas was turned into the blessing, and the water, it helped them for the next year agriculture. The second project was after the flood, and it was KPK, mainly Dera Ismail Khan and Tang districts, where we did some of the structural work as well as the software component, community work. And that was also like a large project, and one of the activity in one of the area in Dera Ismail Khan was around 1.5 kilometer long protection wall, which saved people from 2024 flood. And then this is like our relationship as a project implementer and the donor. But we also have the strategic partnership with the NDRMF on issues of climate change advocacy, resilience building, and we work together on these large issues on the for this COP29. We were also quite active for the COP28 preparations. So we have a strategic partnership, and both organizations, we tried to work together in some of the climate advocacy issues, as well as we also did some of the joint media work in the past.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting your experiences with us. So my question is with Mr. Irshad Abbasi. Sir, could you please introduce AKF and its core mission for us?
Thank you very much, Ji. First of all, congratulations, Ji, Bilal Saab, to your organization for completing very successfully the accreditation process for the partners. In fact, Aga Khan Foundation, Pakistan, started its operations in Pakistan in 60s. But their presence, the AKD's presence in Pakistan was since 1906. I mean, when they have kind of constructed the first education, primary, and then later on secondary in Gwadar in 1906. So Aga Khan Foundation Pakistan is basically in 26 countries all over the world. We have kind of working in various areas. For example, from policy, networking with the partners, resource mobilization, then technical backstopping, and in various sectors. The most famous is the community development, natural resource management, workforce development, health education, and not the least the cross-cutting themes which are around DRR, gender, climate change, and inclusive development. Some of the important policy works which we have done in Pakistan is the early childhood development policy in Pakistan. That is something, a flagship project. Quite recently is the art of parenting. That is something I would say it's extremely crucial to mention here. Numerous policies, ag policy, livestock policies for GB and KP, youth and women policies, especially the women economic empowerment policies, which we help GB and KP government in its formulation. Early childhood development is another area where we have helped GB government in its operationalization. Aga Khan Foundation is again at various important forums at the national level and at the provincial level. For instance, forestry sector project, we are at the agriculture task force at the national level. We are again the 10-year policies, Vision Pakistan policy with the government of Pakistan, 5-year policies for the GB, and even for the KP, for the merged areas or the neglected areas, we are helping the GB government in that. So basically, if you ask me that what exactly is the job of the Aga Khan Foundation, so in short word, Aga Khan Foundation is the planning division of the Aga Khan Development Network. And then we have the implementing partners, Aga Khan Agency for Habitat, Aga Khan Road Support Program, Aga Khan Education Services, Aga Khan Health Services, and the most renowned one is the Aga Khan University. So they are our implementing partners in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my next question is about your experiences with NDRMF, as AKF has completed 3 projects in Pakistan, northern regions. So what has your experience been with the NDRMF?
Thank you. Basically, our partnership started since 2018, where NDRMS was basically evolving at that time. So a lot of consultations, a lot of rigorous consultation process where we were involved with them. If you ask me, that partnership was really interesting. Initially very bumpy and rough, to be honest. But it sailed very well at the end. We're the largest fund recipient from the NDRMF, something like 1.179 billions, out of which the NDRMF share is 73%, and AKF share is around 29%. At those times when NDRMF asked for this cost sharing, not easy for NGO sector, but we thought that this is a national cause, so then we have to really stretch our kitty and then participated at that time with this co-sharing and cost sharing. So we worked basically in 7 districts across GB and KP, Upper Chitral, Lower Chitral, in 89 union councils, 32 union council in 89 highly vulnerable villages. So various activities which we have done with the NDRMF projects were disaster risk mitigation plans, then again formation of those committees, then trainings and capacity building of those committees, 8.06 kilometer long mitigation walls basically we constructed with the support of NDRMF, which is roughly 27,000 running feet. 29 schools were basically retrofitted, and the very important point here I need to mention that at that time the retrofitting concept was kind of, they thought that it's a refurbishing. And basically, Mubashir is sitting here, basically ACA, our implementing agency, Aga Khan Agency for Habitat, basically they were then engaged and then kind of given them a broader appreciation that what this retrofitting is all about. And that's how this whole kind of policies, papers, and guidelines were then established at that time with the support of Aga Khan Agency for Habitat. And 29 schools were retrofitted at that time. And then early warning system is something where we have helped establish those early warning systems. Quick challenges, if I would say, at that time approval process was quite lengthy, quite cumbersome and lengthy. I remember there is a thing called Project Digest, and that Project Digest was a nightmare at that time. Especially the huge tasks were asked, for example, the cost-benefit analysis. We were ensuring that there should be a 12% EIR. Then again, the problems which we have faced in the fields were the voluntary land ownership verification by involving patwaris and gardawars and naib tehsildar. Imagine, I mean, those were the nightmares for us, yeah. Land entitlement issues were there. So really coming up with the ownership, who are the real owner, and then taking this ownership through the revenue department were again something we have done it with the support of NDRMF. Again, NOC is involved with the government. For example, the health and education. That was again a great learning for us. And for sure, I mean, NDRMF helped us a lot. But those were some of those lessons for us. The approval processes were a bit stringent at that time. That was our experience. But later on in phase 2 and phase 3, those were mainstream. And then those processes were honestly quick as far as approval and disbursements are concerned. Um, I think the cost sharing, now it's relaxed, but at that time that was 30%. And a lot of good NGOs, and you know, like the NGOs, they don't have the surpluses or profits in their kitties. They're working on the analogy of the non-profit. So it was really difficult for them to really participate. But now since it's relaxed, this condition is relaxed, so I hope a lot of our sister organization in the civil society, they will participate and they will show their muscle in this whole process. So I would say that yes, this whole process evolved over time. As I've said, that it was a bit cumbersome, bit difficult, but now a lot of things has been mainstream, right from this selection criteria, accreditation process. A lot has been mainstream and a lot has been now at ease for the implementing partners. And we sincerely hope, one last thing, that the disbursements process, I mean, we have seen a bit of challenges in the second and the third phase. And then we were kind of stretched to use our own resources. But I sincerely hope that this time, Bilal Saab and Washir Saab, that process will be mainstream, the disbursements process. Otherwise, it will cause a bit of a delay in the implementation processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and learning with us. So I will move into my next panelist, Ms. Nusrat. So my first question is to please briefly introduce ACA and share its mission for our audience.
Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to NDRMF and all the partners who have been accredited, especially the new ones. ACA, the Akhan Agency for Habitat, it contributes to the overall mission of the Akhan Development Network, which is to improve the quality of life. This particular agency, which is unique in a way that His Highness termed it an environmental agency. Although this is new in, I would say, Pakistan with this name, started in 2016, but it brings 2 decades of legacy institutions. 5 institutions were integrated into this agency. So it is dedicated to building safe, resilient communities, especially in high-risk, remote areas, be it a mountain region or coastal areas. With a unique focus on the built environment, ACA develops disaster-resilient infrastructure, safe housing, and sustainable water and sanitation systems designed to withstand natural hazards. From the emergency management perspective, ACA establishes early warning systems, creates comprehensive disaster risk management and preparedness plans, and trains community in emergency response. By combining the resilient infrastructure with the proactive EM strategies, ACA empowers communities to adapt and thrive even in the face of severe environmental challenges or climate crisis. What I want to say is the program which ACA is doing, it's an award-winning program. Be it emergency management or the built environment one. 2 examples I want to give. I think when the earthquake 2005 happened, this institution was the only agency in Pakistan who had the search and rescue capacity, which was trained and assessed at the INSARAG level. INSARAG is, of course, international standard. So we worked in Kashmir, and we got Sitara Isar for that humanitarian work at that time. Then twice a World Habitat Award on especially blending the indigenous knowledge and the scientific knowledge and, improving the built environment. I think these are some of the things which is, I think, which can be replicated anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. So, but just my last question is with you on collaboration with NDRMF. Working alongside AKF, ACA completed 3 significant projects in northern areas. So what has your experience been like with NDRMF on these projects?
I will not go to the details because Irshad Saab has already, explained it. The uniqueness in this partnership is this was focusing on mountain safety, like it was aimed to promote integrated approach in the mountain safety. And we covered 3 districts in KP and 6 districts in Gilgit-Baltistan. I think it was really designed in a way that the structure, for example, it was aiming both the built environment like climate resilient infrastructure, especially the flood protections and retrofitting of schools. So it was a blend of community-centric approach, but giving engineering solution to that infrastructure. On the soft component, the community preparedness, in the area we have been there for a while, but I think what I saw in Mansehra, for the first time we were there. So when I asked, when you have received this skill of, for example, first aid, how you are using it, and the story started that how they have used it at the household level, at the community level. And in the disasters, I think this infrastructure, it really withstood with the disaster, be it the early warning system or the infrastructure. So it shows that during real time, if it really, proves that it can reduce the risk, it cannot eliminate the risk. So I think that is something, a success, and maybe not reinventing the wheel, and others can really replicate it. That's what I can see. Thank you.
Thank you once again to all of our panelists for your valuable insights and contributions today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our last presentation. To wrap up and reflect on the accreditation cycle 2024, I would like to invite Ms. Sadaf Tahir to the stage to share her insights on the cycle and outline the path forward.
Thank you, our partners, for setting the scene during the panel discussion. It eased out my presentation. So I'll build upon what you have said here. So we collected the reflections from our partners on the systems and policies and procedures that we have accredited and the process that we adopted. I would like to tell you that we used an online Kobo Collect tool to collect the reflections from different organizations who took part in the accreditation process. So in this online survey, 24 organizations participated, The respondents from these organizations, 67% were men, and 33% were women staff members. If we talk about age bracket, mostly the mean age is 41 years. Then 75% of the responding organizations were attempting for the accreditation for the very first time, whereas 25% of the organizations who were responding in this online questionnaire had earlier also attempted to accredit with NDRMF. Then what were the positive aspects that the stakeholders have shared? One, they said that it was participatory and interactive. Then comprehensive criteria and process was clearly articulated. Roadmap was shared in the earlier stages of the accreditation, so everyone was clear that what was being done at what stage. Then there was a clear communication between NDRMF and the participatory organizations, the applicant organizations. Then whatever questions the applicant organizations were asking, so we were prompt. In the earlier phases, it was asked by the most of the applicant organizations that whenever we ask something, we are not being responded. But this time, this thing has been improved, and a lot of positive feedback has been provided by our applicant organizations. And now they are saying that our responses, NDRMF is now much more responsive and quick in communicating. Accreditation team was highly professional with expertise in their relevant fields. This was also the feedback from the applicant organizations. Then contributed in improving organizational capacity. The thing which I had earlier shared in my presentation, that this opportunity also provided with your organizations to improve your systems, policies, and procedures, and get yourselves prepared for other accreditations and other proposals and programming. So in this niche, we can say that we have contributed into capacity building of your organizations. So the other thing which was much appreciated was the due diligence visits that we had conducted to your offices and your field areas, and our applicant organizations did really appreciate this step. The accreditation process for 2024 demonstrated a strong commitment to thoroughness and transparency, ensuring that all required documentation was reviewed and verified comprehensively. So this was one of the very encouraging comments that we received during this online survey. Then suggestions for areas for improvement. Obviously, there is nothing perfect, and there is always room for improvement. And NDRMF, being not much, is a relatively nascent organization and is in the evolution process and is improving its systems every day by day. And especially when our CEO, Mr. Bilal Anwar, had joined NDRMF, after that, we have really transformed our organization into a new dimension, and with lots of innovation and lots of avenues for applicant organizations and other stakeholders. So areas for improvement. Overall, it is good, and no further improvement is needed. Some of the respondents were of the view. Then most of the stakeholders, or I will say respondents of the online survey, shared that pro forma was very lengthy, and there were many repetitions, so this needs to be smart. And I also agree with this, because when we were summarizing the results, we really had a tough time. Then scoring methodology should be shared with the applicant organizations in advance. So we have already designed a brochure in which we have shared the scoring methodology. So in future, any organization that wants to accredit with NDRMF will have that opportunity to learn about the scoring mechanisms. The accreditation performer had strict requirements in terms of standards to comply with. The requirement of standards should be kept in view with the current situation of NGOs. Like here, the stakeholders wanted to share that some of the organizations are small relatively, and our criteria are very strict, so it is sometimes very difficult and challenging for them to qualify. So they want to consider this aspect into our consideration once we work on the accreditation systems. So we will look after that how small organizations can be included into this process and cannot be excluded. A revision of pro forma is recommended. Then simplification of documentation requirements, removing repetitions of questions. This is again what we have already shared. In addition to the offices of the applicant organizations, the due diligence in the field areas of the applicants can further help understand the context and field realities. Yes, I agree with this observation. Definitely when we go into, we had two types of due diligence visits. In some organizations, we visited offices, and in some organizations, we also got a chance to go into their field areas. So it really makes a difference. So in next phase, we will like to see how we incorporate this. And then online portal for submission of documentation will make the process more time effective, and we agree to this, and we are working on the online portal, and soon we will announce it. Way forward for accreditation. One thing is that we will now develop and share the capacity building and risk mitigation plans with our partners to improve their grades and their percentages and their systems and policies and procedures. Then the organizations who could not unfortunately succeed in the process, we are going to help them build their capacity slowly and gradually. So we are designing special capacity building programs for such organizations. And we are aiming at improving our accreditation process further on the basis of the lessons learned during the accreditation process 2024. Then preparations and opening of accreditation cycle 2025 for aspirant organizations. So this is the way forward for the accreditations. And then this slide is very much of your interest. I would like to share that we'll now be working on building up the portfolio for the upcoming cycles. And we have received 57 innovative concept notes. And these are worth 27.84 billion. Sorry, the comma is wrong. So it is 27.84 billion worth projects. And now we will be working on these. And if I tell about the thematic areas in which these concept notes fall, these are disaster risk reduction, urban resilience, disaster risk financing, water resource management, bioengineering solutions and nature-based solutions, drought mitigation, early warning, climate change adaptation, climate resilience, climate smart actions, green infrastructure, waste management, ecotourism, biodiversity. These are the thematic areas in which we have received 57 concept notes. So now the next step will be that we will appraise these concept notes, and we will be shortlisting the most attractive ones or most catchy ones on which we really want to work, mostly the most hard topics on which the Pakistan really needs to be resilient. So we will be picking up those concept notes. And then we will provide capacity building and support to the organizations whose concept notes are shortlisted in preparing their projects. And then technical advice and approvals from the competent fora will be the final stage. So this is how we are going to proceed forward with you all. And thank you. This is all from my side.
Thank you, Sadaf, for your presentation. To conclude our ceremony, I would like to invite Mr. Bilal Anwar, CEO of NDRMF, on stage to please deliver the closing remarks. Thank you.
Well, truly, thank you. And thank you for staying with us in the entire process in the last few months. And Also, thank you for staying this morning. All of you are one way or the other part of this extended family which NDRMF has built, and is extremely working hard to further expand this family. So, yeah, I'm just kind of picking up few areas from Sadaf's last presentation, 27.8434 billion, and I think this is, I'm sure that most of the concept notes, they have passed through the evaluation processes and your own kind of expert reviews which you have within your own organizations. So those are for us very much kind of ready to implement the projects, and we'll be taking them into our investment plans, which we are actually preparing right now and sharing with the different donor agencies. And then I'm sure that some level of work which might still be required in order to further refine them, and preparing the implementation framework and several other areas as well. We're just about to launch the project preparation facility in NDRMF, and I think the person who's going to be managing the project preparation facility, he's just being recruited. I don't think he's formally on board yet, but I can give you a hint that he is definitely in the room, and so he is going to be kind of leading the project preparation facility work, which basically is providing that all the capacity building support in terms of the project preparation and preparing a robust pipeline of the projects. So this is one of the initiative, and we have allocated a kind of a decent budget for that from our own resources, which basically is going to be investing in terms of further refining the projects, passing them through the funnel of our NetCat system as well, and giving you a slightly more refined disaster risk informed kind of elements of it, and then taking into consideration that what specific or particular areas need to be improved in those project proposals. So that's another initiative you'll be hearing, and you'll be kind of being approached by the relevant people from NDRMF. So before I thank all of you, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our own team in NDRMF. A number of people actually have come together. If the performer was lengthy, repetitive, kind of complex, and it was at least 47 times more complex for us, because our team was actually passing through the 47 of those performers and reviewing every single detail and going through all the nitty-gritty and the technical details and institutional details which you provided to us. So a remarkable amount of the work and a considerable amount of the work has actually gone into it. Number of departments within NDRMF under the leadership of Sadaf Tair, who has been leading this work and been very much engaged with you throughout the process. The procurement, finance, social safeguards, climate change team, and who else? M&D, of course, M&D and our media department and a number of other people have actually come together, admin, of course, as well. So they have come together in order to kind of conduct this whole exercise, and we are very much passionate about it, and the capacity building, which we've been you've been hearing this since this morning, and you'll be hearing a lot more louder in the coming months as well, because we are putting together quite a comprehensive plan for capacity building. So we do want to actually improve and further refine and further strengthen your procurement policies, your social safeguard policies, and also the fiduciary management, the financial management controls, and all those different areas as well. I just want to mention another area on which we are working and very closely with our partners, organizations, and donors is that to develop some kind of a mutual recognition for our accreditation. So anyone who's accredited by NDRMF is mutually recognized by other organizations, so you do not have to pass through the similar grueling process for their accreditation as well. So we are open to be accredited to accredit others. So I think this is something which we are working with the different partners in ADB, World Bank, EU, and several others as well. It might actually take a little bit more time because we have to build the confidence, we have to show the system, the robustness of the system, and we have to bring them on board as well. So, but this is something on which we are working actually. This is some kind of a little contribution we want to make into the sector. So first of all, my thank you. I think they all deserve a very loud applause. So thank you. And secondly, thank you very much to all of you. And this basically opens up the avenues and the opportunity to work together. And yeah, let's work together. And Minister Saab repeatedly used the word synchronization this morning. And I think this is what this accreditation is all about. The whole science of accreditation is about synchronization, building partnerships, working together. Thank you very much. And I think we all deserve to have a lunch, or don't we? We do. Thank you very much, Shamsa. I save your hassle of coming here. So the session is concluded, and let's go for lunch. Thank you very much.
Thank you all once again for your participation today. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us for lunch and further networking. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.